you're ready, here we go. Hello, YouTube. That just spun forever. I thought I'd come on and do a reading for feminine and masculine dynamic. Okay, so why is this important? If you're new to this channel, explain a little bit about why you might hear a lot about divine feminine and divine masculine. This isn't some special group of people. Everyone has masculine and feminine energy within them. And, we think of that, maybe a lot of people will talk about it in very concrete and logical terms, right? Okay, yeah, it makes sense that, feminine, like emotions tend to be feminine. When you're in an emotional state, when you're in a healing space, it's very feminine. When you're in a creation space, it's very feminine. And when you're in a action and like stealing your courage, that kind of thing, those are masculine. I think most people can feel that. But when we talk about the divine feminine and divine masculine, we're talking about these energies that make up who we are in this world. And everyone has a different balance. And then it has a lot to do with your chart, with your whole chart, not just your sun sign. I got a cat hair or something. Not just your sun sign, and not even just your top four, which would be sun, moon, rising, Venus. Okay. And so you can tell it's late. I'm like itchy. And so that balance within is what we are working on right now as a collective. Okay. It's balancing, and it's why women have been figuring out who they are and why men are now coming to that place. The divine feminine has led this evolutionary process for quite some time, 20 years at least, to possibly even starting back with the suffragettes, very possible, to this place where we are now, where I think a lot of people are surrendering to the idea that, okay, maybe the parts of feminism that were like women can do everything men can do, maybe that was a little skewed. Maybe that was a little from our pain, from our egos. And a lot of people are starting to realize that men and women are different for a reason. Now, that does not mean that men and women cannot be in the same career fields. It just means that they're going to process these things differently. And they're going to, it's going to mean something differently to them, if that makes sense. Because I know a lot of beautiful women who are in the military, who are pilots, who do what might be considered a masculine job, which pilots should not be, by the way, at all. There definitely should be more women in there. Get going, women, if you have a pull to that at all. But so I'm not saying that women can't do the jobs that traditionally men have done. What I'm saying is that we are different for a reason. Men, this is a simplistic way to look at it. Men rule the 3D, the earth plane. Women rule the spiritual plane. And so we come together and create this beautiful reality. And since we all have it within us, we create our own reality around us. We even create this physical vessel that you see. This is not real. This is not real. It's just energy that I am creating based on where I am at, balancing my masculine and feminine energies within at this moment. And so there is a perfect balance for everyone. If you don't know yours, just generate your chart, your birth chart. It tells you, and it's a number between 1 and 10, and it'll be 2. It'll say masculine and feminine, and those two numbers will equal 10. And that is your ideal balance. It's not going to be 5 and 5. I guarantee you almost no one on the planet would be 5 and 5. Everyone is a little bit more, at least a little bit more one than the other. Some of us are a lot more one than the other. For example, I am a feminine of 7 and a masculine of 3. And I lived a lot of my life operating from the reverse of that. I was military. I was raised with brothers. I was raised primarily just in a very masculine space. And so I have worked to tune in and to embody my feminine more the last decade or so. And so, yeah, so that's a little bit of a rundown. Essentially, humanity is going through an evolution. We're going through a quantum leap evolution. Even scientists, mainstream scientists are saying this. NASA has been tracking this. The Earth, the galaxy is in a whole new part of space. The galaxy, first of all, if you don't know, is actually moving through space always. Everything is in motion. And we have already moved into a higher vibrational space that now the humans on Earth are catching up to the planet. The planet has already reached that frequency. And then we were like, oh shit, we better, catch up. Our bodies react to that. And so it's why over the last, I would say 50 years, to be honest, even more than that, the reality that we're creating has been a little chaotic because we have been thrown off kilter. We have been thrown off from the way we used to operate to now being forced to look at where we're settling, where we're not creating the reality that we really want, because that's the whole point, to stay true to our divine blueprint, which really means getting that balance, whatever it is for us, and creating the reality from that balance. We've all been creating the reality from an imbalance, okay, of the masculine and feminine. And so it projects outward and creates this reality that is just fucked up, right? And so that's in a 7-minute nutshell. But I just wanted to give a rundown for anybody who maybe is wondering why they're hearing those terms everywhere. Divine feminine, divine masculine. Now, I will say there is also a certain journey, a certain path that specific souls have chosen to travel that I've been aware of for probably close to 10 years, I would say now, that I used to roll my eyes at, that a lot of people call twin flames. It could be divine counterpart, divine complement, divine tantric consort, soulmate. And, there are a lot of people who have different, if you Google that, you're going to get a million different definitions. You're going to get the good and the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly of twin flames, of all of that stuff. There has definitely been a divide as far as that is concerned on what the definition is. And so when I say divine counterpart, divine complement, I am talking about a soul that at one point was one soul. And that soul, so here's the story. We start off as part of Source. Source decides it wants to experience itself in a lower vibration where it can experience duality, where it can experience darkness, because Source is pure light. And so a piece, an avatar, an extension is formed. And that extension is a monad. It's a giant soul, essentially. As it lowers in vibration to get to where it wants to be, it can't exist as that big, beautiful ball of light. So it splits, and then it splits again, and then it splits again to be able to exist in these lower vibrations, okay, till it gets to 12. Now, this is all intuition, speculation, as far as the numbers, but I swear if you're not resonating with this on a deep level, I don't know, everybody I've told, everyone I know of who has heard this story, even if they don't know any of the, this kind of spiritual language, it resonates on a deep level. And so, because anybody who's had a deep soul connection with somebody understands this. And so when you get down to where it's this soul that then splits into two and then it doesn't split anymore, well, what logically, to return to Source, what is that next step is to find each other and merge again. Eventually, it's like thousands of years, maybe even millions of years process. But we are now in a time when those souls are finding each other. And they always have. This is just kind of a quantum leap in that realm. And so you've got these beautiful souls searching for each other for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And then you find each other. And what will happen is you'll have, typically, not always, is you'll get practice runs. Like you'll get someone come in, and this is I'm just going to speak to the romantic version of it. A lot of people believe that there are those who aren't. And sure, I absolutely believe that. For me, it is a romantic connection. And so you'll get some trial runs. And so one or two, hopefully not more. And basically, a soul will come in and you'll feel that deep connection and you'll think, oh my God, this is it. And then it turns, right? And it doesn't take long to turn, usually a few weeks, a few months, and something will go bad. Okay. And then you separate and you move on eventually. And that is a trial run. And for some people, it'll happen more than once. Okay. And so I had a trial run about 5 years ago and then thought, well, that was it. That was it. I didn't know at the time it was being defined as one chance. And if you don't both choose it, then it's over and you're not on the path. And I don't know. I'm not sitting here telling you that I know everything about the dynamic. I just know what I feel in my heart, that I do have a divine counterpart. I have met my divine counterpart, and it's not easy. It's not easy. And the trial run that I had was like a 2-3 week experience, and then it was over. But it was a 2-year period after that of growth for me. And have not communicated with that person since and have no desire to. And so everything that I have done in my spiritual practice, in my spiritual growth, the big leaps that I've taken to get to where I am today have been since that experience. And that's the point, okay, is it's meant to push us. You can say no to the opportunity, and the universe is going to continue to send you chances to do that, to grow. You can keep saying no until you die, or you can surrender, because it's going to be painful to go through that over and over again. If you chose the divine complement path, which not everyone did, I want to make that clear. We all have the divine feminine and divine masculine within us, but not everyone chose a divine union like that on the outside. You may have a beautiful relationship, but there's a difference, okay? Because it is a deep transformation. And the point is never to make the relationship work, although it is meant to, but it's not about making it work. It's about stepping back, surrendering, realizing that you love this other person unconditionally, no matter what happens, no matter what condition each of you is in, no matter where you're at in your journey, that you will always love this person. The trial run was not like that. The love fades, the love goes away, and you realize what it was for. It was for the growth. And then you get to meet the real person. And that's not easy either. It's about the growth, and the growth brings the union. Okay. So again, I didn't mean for this to be a tutorial, but, or a lecture, a TED talk, but here we are. I just felt like I needed to really explain where I come from. When you watch my readings, this is my lens. And I, a lot of times, focus on a divine complement journey because it's my journey. And so if you resonate with that, if you're on that yourself, welcome. Welcome. You're in the right place, because I talk about it incessantly until I get sick of hearing about it. No, that's not true. I never do get sick of hearing about it. So what I wanted to do today, as I'm shuffling mindlessly and uselessly, is pull some cards for the masculine and the feminine, and then some for the union. And so I've got my deck that I consider my masculine deck. It's a Viking deck that I'm going to pull some cards for the men. And then I've got a Magdalene deck that I will pull for the women. And again, I say men and women. I apologize if that offends you in any way. I don't care what the vessel is. I speak in energy. So if I do say men and women, it's a slip up. I apologize. I don't intend for it to be that way. It is just my personal experience as a woman. And so I do mean masculine, and when I say men, and feminine when I say women. whatever you came here to emanate more of, that energy. And again, look in your chart and you'll know if you don't know. Intuit it too. Like, where do you feel the best? How much are you in your feminine and how much are you in your masculine? When you feel the most empowered in this world, in your life, when you feel the most you. So that's what you need to know. And it does not matter what the skin bag looks like, I promise you. So let's get a card for the masculines. In fact, I want to get 3. Okay, so we're going to get 3 from here. And then we'll see what's going on. I think I'm holding the deck upside down. I'm not going to worry about it. They all came out upside down. I was just holding the deck upside down. I'm not going to worry about that. Odin is the first card out, of course, stepping into your God self. I mean, that's exactly what's happening. And it's 32, which is 5, which is big change. This is a huge transformation for masculines, being asked to step into their king energy, when so many of them have been made to believe that they are peasants or squires or, lower than. Every single masculine on the planet is a king, and can step into that energy. It's interesting too, Odin, with his one eye, it is a very accurate representation of where the men are at right now. It's like they've not, or have where they've been. They've never been able to fully see their true power. And so they've given into the current reality, the paradigm that we've been living in that is breaking down. It is breaking down, and we are building a new one. The old paradigm was, that men are not allowed to show emotion. They're supposed to be stoic. They're supposed to be the rock of the family, right? And be the head of the family and be the boss and be the breadwinner and be all these things, but not allowed to process their own shit, right? And not really seeing, and then not able to also, little boys, little masculines, sorry, I should say, go through trauma just as much as feminines, okay? We neglect this fact sometimes. We are so focused on women having been put down all this time, which is true, but it doesn't mean that the men haven't suffered as equally, okay? And so if a masculine, let's say, has gone through something like SA, we're not allowed to say the word, right? But has been abused or was abused as a child, they are not allowed to ever process that. They're not allowed to ever really purge that from their physical body. And so they hold on to it because they're men. They got to be strong, right? They can't show emotion. And so it gets stuck in the body. And if it's perpetuated by, let's say, even a parent that doesn't want to talk about it, that doesn't allow them to cry about it or to process that either, and that does not give them the emotional support that they need, that's going to affect them throughout their whole lives. And so men, and I'm just going to say men in general, masculines in general, tend to shut down when they're faced with a very emotional feminine. And that is within and without. If they're faced with a very intense emotion, they will attempt to turn it off, to shut it down. All that does is bury it and create this mountain of unexpressed emotion in your energy body. Create a mountain of unexpressed emotion in your life. And then what you do is you continue to add to it instead of dealing with any of it. And then when you're asked to embark on a journey, which you are being asked now, men, masculines, it's layer by layer, and it's big, and it can feel impossible, and it can feel like it's going to kill you. It can feel like it's bigger than you. And here's the thing, is anything in your energy body is not bigger than you. You are the boss. You're the fucking king. You're the God. You're the all-father of your own energy. Okay? And whatever you have locked away, you can confront again and release all of it. All of it. Okay? All of it. So then you got Scuddy, which is 34, which breaks down to 7. That's a very cool card. 7 is cosmic assistance. I always think of 7 as you have help. You have help. You have spirit guides. You have ancestors. You have angels. You have whatever you need. you have in order to go through this healing. But I want to look up her because I always forget what her message is. Know yourself. It is the most important of life's work. Express your independence. Let authenticity be your guide. Okay, so independence, yes, for the men. I'm not talking about hyper independence. That is a defense mechanism. That is a trauma response when you are hyper independent, when you don't let anybody else help you, when you think you can do this life all by yourself. You don't need anybody. You can be alone. You can, but it's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it to really get the most out of it, because then it says, let authenticity be your guide. Authenticity is being true to who you really are, which is the king, right? You are the king. You deserve all the things that kings deserve. You deserve a queen. You deserve a kingdom that is exactly what you want it to be. You deserve to feel powerful in your own life. You deserve to be able to create abundance and joy and bliss, but you have to work on the mountain of unexpressed emotion that has built up over your lifetime. And so, and in order to go back, in order to return to your authenticity. Compromise is part of every relationship. Oh, this is a relationship card. Perfect. But when compromise pushes you to be someone you are not, a change should be made. So here's the thing is, if you're in a relationship, this is the thing that I have been learning the last year, 2 years, is relationships, we give up too soon. I think just about everybody is guilty of that. We're in a culture now of the first red flag, gone. I don't understand that. I think that's not giving anybody any chance. I think that's throwing away potentially beautiful relationships, romantic and otherwise. Friends, coworkers, everybody has pain. Everyone is healing right now. We're all going through this evolutionary process where we are being forced to look at our shit. We can't not look at it anymore. So if you're experiencing like really tough times in your life right now, or the last year or 2 or 5, or your whole life, it's because you have been avoiding healing that pain. And you've been told, like for masculines in general, men, especially in times past, they are told that that's just who they are. There's no, oh, you're not allowed to heal because that means you're going to be emotional. You just keep piling it on and you just keep going, soldier on, right? Keep going forward. And it's not sustainable in this energy anymore. Gaia, Mother Earth, is not going to allow that shit anymore. Okay. You're going to get put in timeout from mom if you don't knock it off. So let's read more of this. But giving up too soon, I think that you can, if you really want a relationship to work, you can heal. Now, the thing is sometimes you begin to heal and you realize you don't want it and you realize that you're not compatible, and that's fine too. But if you both want it and you've been through a lot of shit and you still both want it, then perhaps that relationship is asking you to make the changes necessary to be able to be in a really good place with it, to be able to just really truly enjoy each other at some point. I believe that. I believe that you can get to that point, and I believe that if you both want the relationship to work truly from your hearts, that then it is possible. I'm not going to say that you can make it work. I don't like that phrase, right? We're not, again, none of this is about making a relationship work. None of this is about forcing or pushing anything. It's all about balancing that feminine and masculine within. And then if you have a divine partner, that can only help them balance theirs too. If you are in a deep soul connection, if you have found that soul, that when you're ready, the two will merge and you will be one soul again, and then keep rising to join source and then find the other two, right? It's just going to keep going back up until we are back to source. And I'm telling you, this is like millions of years. So don't think this is happening like in the next 5 years, but we are now on the path of finding that first soul partner. Okay. And if you have found that person, then that relationship is meant to be. I don't care what you think. If you disagree, I don't need your comments. They'll be deleted. Because if you disagree, then this is not the channel for you, I promise. So this says there is an easier way to do things. Speak plainly. I like that. So this is about, and I love how it's a very strong feminine, but it's also, I mean, it's a woman, but it's a very masculine energy though, too. She's got the horn, she's got the wolf. You could even think of this as her, where is he? It's backwards. It's so weird. As her masculine, or it's her, yeah, I like that, as her masculine. But what it's saying is for the feminines, when they can speak plainly, then that gives the masculines the push to heal. This is what's going on. This is part of the process, is the feminines are, by setting their boundaries and being very direct in what they want in a relationship, is forcing the men to heal. That's an easy way to say it, but that's what's going on. Skadi is a Norse goddess best known in the mountainous parts of the region, beautiful, strong, resourceful, and independent. Her name is linked to the words for unknown and darkness, and may even be the source of the word Scandinavia, a land dedicated to her. She's a huntress. I can't tell you how much I'm resonating with that term lately, huntress. Like, that is my energy. I am a huntress. I love it. She's an archer, a keeper of wolves, and most of all, a lover of snow and of the highest of mountains. Okay. I'm just skimming because I don't think much of this pertains to this reading, but should Skadi step into your life with this card, she is reminding you that being honest, direct, and respecting your own personal freedom is paramount. So if you're in a relationship where you don't feel free, then and you can't find a way to be free while in that relationship, then it's time to take a step back and really assess if you want it or not, and then proceed from there, right? Again, if you both want it, then conversations need to be had about how to maintain your own personal freedom in the relationship. If you need to, oh, there's a typo. Damn it, my editing brain. If you need courage to, that's what it says. If you need the courage to be who you really are, ask Skadi for assistance. So I love this. Authenticity is what she's all about. And this is what's going on for both masculines and feminines. But men, what the women are doing, I promise you, is for your own highest good. We are not intentionally, we're not consciously doing this. This is just, it's our job right now. I've just surrendered to it. If I'm going to trigger every fucking man I meet, then I'm going to trigger I don't know. But triggering the divine counterpart, if you're on that path, dude, it's not for wimps. It's not for wimps. But I promise you, the women have been through the ringer the last decade. The women have been through it so that we can light the way for you. So stop being dicks and just heal. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. You got 28, which is 10, which is coming to the end of a cycle, which is beautiful. I mean, it's not even a person. It is Fridgeard. I'm going to look that up. I'm guessing, what is it, Valhalla? I don't think I've ever pulled this card, to be honest. It's right after Freya. It is time to find refuge. Okay. We all need occasional respite from the chaos and pressure of the world around us. I love this. So closing up this cycle, and this is all, it's soon. Like, I'm not going to say it's April, but it's soon. I feel like men, masculines, you need a refuge. You need a place. We all need occasional respite from the chaos and pressure of the world around us. Women, we've got our she sheds, right? Men, they've had the man cave. But is it exactly what is needed right now? Men, you need solitude. You need time to reflect. You need time to get to know yourself again and look at where you are not being authentic to your true self, to who you really want to be. So, there's this joke, right? That, women, we meet a man and we want to change him. It's never been about we we fall in love with the man. We don't fall in love, and people say you fall in love with the potential. We fall in love with their true authentic self that we see at the beginning of the relationship, because that's what they're showing us. Then when the relationship starts to deepen, then that's when they will withdraw, because that's when the trauma comes up. That's when they are feeling the push to heal, because that's what the energy does. And so if it's not a divine union, if it's not even a union that's meant to last, doesn't even have to be a divine counterpart type path, but if it's not meant to last, then that will break the relationship. But if it is something that is meant to last, then the man has to step up and do the healing. And so it's all about getting back to, we don't want you to change. If we love you unconditionally, it's not about you changing. It's about you stepping into who you really are. We want your king version, and we've met him. We've seen him because we fell in love with him. We want this version of you, which is the highest version of you. But it's become a joke, right? And so now it's like taboo, and men can blame us for it, but it's never been about that. It's always been about us trying to find the kings to match our queens, and we didn't do it all right either. Okay, and we're going to get to the women. So let's see. There is profound sanctity in places that protect us. That's telling me if there's a place, it doesn't have to look like this, but if there's a place where you feel safe, that is your sanctity, that is your sanctuary. Okay, that's where you need to go. Silence is valuable now. Secure both the protection of your community and your own peace. I love that. Seek the action that will weave peace into the current situation. Love it. That doesn't have to be a relationship, but because that's what I'm talking about really here today, let's focus on that part of it, but don't force the square peg into the round hole. Fit that into your life however it does, or let it go if it doesn't resonate at all. But seek the action that will weave peace into the current situation. So if you're in a relationship where you're not feeling free, but you both still want it, and you feel a deep soul connection, and it's something more than what you've ever had before, then there is an action that needs to be taken on the masculine's part to bring peace. Okay. I don't know what that is. It's going to be different for everybody, but this is the message coming through, and I'm just going with it. And again, this is coming to the end of a cycle. So this is going to be the end of and what I'm seeing for a lot of couples, and this is just because I know so many people on this path, is it's been chaotic. It's been challenging. It's been hard. It's been hard AF. And we're coming to the end of that, okay? And so in divine unions, it's going to just feel better. It's going to feel easier. It's going to feel more free. For a lot of people, if it's not a divine union or a connection that is meant to last, then it will end. And that will also be in your highest good, okay? I don't know why I got that song from Sesame Street in my head. And then it's a number, remember? 7. I don't know. We're 10. We're doing 10 right now. 10. The Viking Fridbeard. I don't know how they say that. They didn't give me the Fridgeard. This place was dedicated to the gods and was sacred to nature spirits like elves, located near trees, springs, stones, and other natural spots that were considered to be receptacles of great magical power. These were places the community or kinship group went to worship. So maybe there's a place that you go with a group that means a lot to you, with family or with just a group of friends or something that is a group that you enjoy. There's a place that you go to either commune with this group or to meet this group where you feel safe. If there isn't, then it's time for you to find a sanctuary. That's what I'm getting. It does say something about sometimes these places are restricted. It's about finding where you feel safe. Okay. Okay. Yes. Should this card come to your attention, look for a peaceful way forward. Since peace comes from within, seek to understand what may be disrupting your peace. It's all in here. It's not somebody else. It's not somebody else. You could be being triggered by somebody to heal something. It's not their fault that you're triggered. The triggering is trying to tell you something. It's trying to show you what needs to be healed. And I know I've had so many people come to me recently, especially, and it makes sense because I went through it too recently. It's like they're just convinced they can never heal. It's too much. It's too big. You don't have to heal it all at once. You get to peel off each layer one at a time. Now, sometimes when you get good at it, sometimes you get to do 2, sometimes you get to do 5. Lately, we've done even bigger chunks than that, and it hurts like hell, but it is all in our highest good, and it is all to get us to our divine blueprint, okay? Okay, guys, masculines, seek to understand what may be disrupting your peace from within, okay? What is it? It's not, oh, her, or oh, him, or oh, them, or oh, the government, or oh, the feminists, or oh, the whatever. It's not that. It's something in here. Okay, so fix that. Create a place of peaceful sanctuary to support your inner sense of peace. So what I'm feeling is, if you're feeling a lot of dysregulation in here, right? If you're feeling very anxious all the time, the nervous system is dysregulated. It does help. Now, everything starts from within, but if you can find a place of sanctuary to go where you can be alone, I know it says community, but I do really feel like you guys need to be alone right now for extended periods of time as much as you can be, but it has to be a place where you feel safe, where you can really dive in here and look at your next step of healing, okay? So I want to get, I'm going to pull out my Sacred Traveler deck. And, oh no, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to do the feminine cards first. I just heard that. Pull 3 feminine and then we'll do a wrap-up card. That's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, so this is the Mystique of Magdalene. It's a beautiful deck. Let's get 3 for the feminines. Great messages for the men, though. I mean, this is what you're doing, guys. We know the feminines, we know that there are kings within you, in every single one of you. No masculine is exempt from this. Every masculine is a king in their own energy. Every masculine has a purpose. Every masculine can find that purpose. Every masculine can find a partner, can find I don't want to say career because it's kind of brings us crashing down into the 3D, but a soul purpose, something to do, a mission. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Every masculine has a mission that will show this divine blueprint, this king, this God. We see it. We see it. That's what we fall in love with. Yes, it's potential, but it's your true selves. And that's all we've ever wanted you to show us, because typically we get to see it in the beginning of the relationship. And then as the relationship deepens, like I said before, you're asked to continue to show that in a bigger way, and you can't fake it anymore, right? You have to really dig deep, guys. I mean, all right, but let's see, for the women, for the feminine, excuse me. I do apologize if I do that. It is just from my own experience and my own lens. I do not mean to intentionally exclude anyone. Not my intention ever. Okay. Feminines. Ooh, I'm all warm too, which is what happens when I am tuned in. And it's good too, because I'm always cold. Oh my gosh, we got a 10. We got a 10 right under your 10, men. Perfect. And we got another 5. It's not under the 5, but that's okay. And we got a 9. So there's a 9 and a 10, but there's a 5 in the middle. So change between the coming to the end and the end. There's going to be a shakeup for the women. Okay, I love that because I feel like it's a good thing. Mary with the alabaster jar. So again, this is for the feminines. 36 breaks down to 9. We are coming to the end of this cycle before the men. We're going to be getting there, and we're not going to wait. We're not waiting, feminines. We're not waiting, but we are preparing the next step of the path, right? Mary with the alabaster jar is Mary Magdalene. If you ever see paintings that have been that say they're Mother Mary, because that tends to be what they do. If there's an alabaster jar if you don't know, it's going to look like that. Sometimes it has a lid, sometimes it doesn't. That's Mary Magdalene. They just don't want you to know that she was that important. And she was, because she was Yeshua's wife. Okay. So Mary with the alabaster jar, ask questions. So be the one who rocks the boat. That's what I'm getting. Women, and we're already doing this, right? We are the ones who are rocking the boat right now, big time. And the men don't like it. And I don't blame them. But that doesn't mean we're going to stop. We can't. We can't. The energy won't let us. We could stop and then we'll just all perish. We'll just all stop moving and we're not going to do that, guys. We're not going to do that. It's because then we got Salome. Oh, thank God. I didn't even notice it was Salome. 5, big change, full moon. Check that out. We're just coming out of this lunar eclipse, and then we had the equinox, and then we had a solar eclipse. We've got another eclipse this month. I mean, just ridiculousness with the eclipses. It's been intense. And Salome, ecstatic dance. I mean, she represents really getting back in touch with your sensual self. And women, feminines, this is not necessarily, I'm not talking about just self-pleasure. I am talking about getting in touch with that raw. This is almost like a more sensual version of like dancing naked under the moonlight, right? Or like, the witches getting together under the moonlight. It's a higher vibrational version of this, right? It's the high priestesses getting together now. Okay. It's the goddesses getting together. I do want to read, I kind of want to look up this first one first, because I'm curious what the creator of this deck had intended for this card. So question everything. You don't have to accept a belief that others think is an absolute truth. You don't have to accept anything I'm saying, but you don't have to accept anything anybody else says. Okay. So whatever is true for you is true. Whatever is going on in your life is something that you are projecting. So it's your truth. That's all. Nobody else can tell you different. Make up your own mind and know your own mind. Trust your intuition. Use your intuition, observation, research, and experience to decide an important issue. So this is good, because I think a lot of us are really kind of having to focus on, which is good, having to focus on ourselves. If you have a partner, we just don't have the capacity to even focus on them right now. And if you are in separation, we call it, with the divine counterpart, then it's there's really no choice. But at the same time, like, personally for me, I am in a better space than I've ever been in, as far as surrendering to the separation and really tuning into what I need right now. Not that I don't want, union. I absolutely do. That's why I'm doing this, because it's never been about making the relationship work. It's about, right? I'm going to say it a million times. It's about finding you, and then that draws in the partner. And when you're both finding you, then it's magnetic. You can't keep these divine couples apart. So that is what that says. Let's see. Oh, and then Salome. Yeah, Salome, release your inner goddess through a dance of joy. Ecstatic dance is prayer in motion. Unity with the divine is achieved through conscious movement. In turn, this will create a sense of balance as you raise the vibration of your physical body to connect to your higher self and source. So yeah, that's what I was trying to get a gauge on. It's not just sensuality. It is moving the body. We have to move, and moving the body however it feels good to you, but move more. Okay, ladies, okay, feminines, because we are coming to the end of something. We are going to be resolving something in our lives. And I do think for a lot of us, that is talking about letting go of things that are in the way of a divine union, or just if you're not on that path, or just in your way in general of you moving forward in a high vibrational way. And so we're resolving that conflict, and then we're going to be in an integration period where you're going to want to And again, this is good too because the men need solitude. We're going to want the solitude to really explore and to really raise the vibration of our physical bodies again. And then you got the 10 right under the men's 10. Absolutely perfect. We're coming to the end of this cycle. We really are coming to the end together. This is just, almost there, right? It's almost there. And then we're going to take some time to really tune into our own physical bodies. This is great too, because my beautiful friend Aisha Love, who is on YouTube as Multidimensional You, it's just the letter U. Find her. I'll try to link her if I think of it. I will link her. She talks about lately, especially the physical body has been coming through in her channeled messages about really reminding your body that it is love, that it has always been love, and that it will always be love, and therefore emanating that message, right? And really focusing on vibrant health and taking good care of your body, but just telling it every day, you are love. You are love, and you are loved, right? And so it's perfect. It's perfect synchronicity. And so we are wrapping something up. We're going to take some integration time and solitude while the men are taking their solitude. And then we're coming to the end of this cycle together with the masculines. And this card, number 10, and 10 is 10 and 1 together. It is ending and beginning. It is the infinity, which is also a symbol of divine union within and without, but it is the infinity symbol. That is, something ends and then it begins again, and then it ends and begins again. It's that constant, beautiful flow of life, sensuality and secrets. So you got two very sensual cards, ladies, feminines. Look beyond the beauty to see what lies beneath. This is gorgeous. So this is the men coming to the end of the cycle by finding this refuge, right? By finding a sanctuary. Masculines, please, 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 please really take this message seriously. I got something bugging me. There we go. Because the feminines, and I got a Merlin here. Oh my goodness. My wizard is here. Let's see. Look beyond the beauty to see what lies beneath. So we're really going to be going deep into not just the physical body, but deeper into our own selves. Once found, it is best to be silent about it. So when you are in this deep introspective period, feminines, and again, this is coming soon. What I'm seeing is by the end of May, we're both going to be hitting this end of this cycle. As you discover things about yourself, don't necessarily shout it from the mountaintops just yet. Okay. That's what it's saying. Hold it close for the time being. This knowledge could lead to a great healing for your body, mind, and spirit. I would say absolutely fucking yes, it will lead to a great healing for your body, mind, and spirit. And guess what happens? When you heal yourself, you heal those closely connected to you. And even anyone who is around you when you go out, it can be a trigger in a good way. It can be a trigger in a good way. Okay. He just really wanted to be part of this, I guess. Yeah. In France, Mary Magdalene is known as the patron saint of perfumers and apothecaries. She would have known the Rosa Gallica, the apothecary rose. It was used in healing, and that's what she's holding, if I can, excuse me, sir. That's what she's holding is the apothecary rose. It was used in healing ointments and evocative perfumes. Rose is an anagram for Eros, the god of love. I always forget that. Every time I read this card, I go, I didn't know that. I knew it, but I forget it all the time. Eros, the god of love. It became one of his symbols, and not just because of its scent. In ancient Greek mythology, the rose was associated with secrecy because Eros gave a rose to the god of silence, Harpocrates, so that he would not reveal Aphrodite's secrets. Not Hippocrates, but Harpocrates is what it says. When entering a room, a rose on the ceiling means that nothing you hear or observe can be revealed or disclosed. This is called sub rosa, or under the rose. The whereabouts of Magdalene and her family were also sub rosa, secret. The Rosicrucians and other esoteric groups still use this symbol in their meetings if the content should not be shared with anyone else. And they know because they're in a room with a rose on the ceiling, I imagine. As an oracle card reader, you may adopt the sub rosa symbol to assure your clients that the reading will be kept in strict confidence. Be a trusted holder of knowledge. What I will also say is that the secrets of women have been suppressed for long enough, and we are going to be expressing them now, not necessarily, like I said, shouting them from the mountaintops, but I feel like for a lot of feminines, coming to the end of the cycle by the end of May, a lot of you are going to be writing your story, okay, or speaking your story, speakers, writers, okay, or just content creators. Get on here and start a YouTube channel if you don't have one already and start talking. But I would say, again, when it feels right, like once you go through this deep a period of wrapping up this, we're going to be resolving something, right? That's going to be our own shit. We're going to be resolving something really important, really big, while the men are doing their work. And then we're going to take some integration time through April and May. And then at the end of May, I'm really feeling this. At the end of May is when we're really going to start to express these secrets. Again, it does say hold them close. That's why I'm saying write a book, write a keynote, and then because that takes some time, right? Like, but I would say by the end of the summer, you're going to know, June, you're going to know what your path is, but you're going to be sharing your story. And that's not for everybody, but that is a message for a lot of feminines, okay? It's time to share your story. It's time to get women's secrets out there for other women and for the men to understand too. We're not secretive in order to manipulate them. We've been secretive because we have been manipulated, right? By them and by each other because of the society we've created. And so we're done doing that, right? Women, we're done manipulating each other, right? Everybody agree with me. And so now we're also not going to turn around and manipulate the masculines, because this is not about trading places and, okay, now we're going to be in charge for a while. That's not what this is about. Okay, this is not a man bashing, man hating, down with men. No, this is both of us healing so that we can stand side by side. That's what's going on here. About time too. And yes, he's still here. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Was I not paying enough attention to you? What is wrong with me? How dare I? I'm holding it upside down. See, I would have pulled an upside down card. Let's get a wrap up, just because I don't really want this to be, I know people look at these readings and go, God, an hour? The hell? I don't know. I'm hoping people watch this. I like the longer readings. I get excited when readers that I like do really long ones. It makes me happy. But maybe I'm the minority. I know a lot of people just don't have the time. So let's pull a wrap-up card and we will wrap this up for the divine union, but also anyone going through a journey of divine union within, which is everybody. Let's get a wrap-up card for anyone who receives, always and only in the highest good. Reaching your destination. Okay. Your light is shining brightly. And look at that. Look, our destination, which we thought was just a dream, which we thought was unattainable because it's in this bubble, right? No, that's where we're going. Look at the butterfly next to it too. Look at the castle. We get to create the world that we want to create now. We get to create, and this is both of us together. So reaching the destination of what the divine unions are doing is, as they come together, hopefully this year, yet next year, a lot of them are coming together already in beautiful ways. But as we come together, I have an itch right there. As we come together, we have joint missions. Now, I know that sounds really super important and official. It doesn't have to be like starting this big healing center or, doing these big retreats together. Some people are doing that, and that's beautiful. Not everybody's joint mission is that visible. For a lot of couples, it's going to be more grounded and more kind of in the trenches, where you will just be raising the vibration as a couple in union wherever you go. And that's so important, to have every union be in a different place, I think. And so that's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, look at that butterfly. Like, it's just, reaching your destination. And look at how, like, notice that the light is illuminating the path just over the hill. We're getting to a point where we're going to be able to see more clearly where we're going. And that will come with or facilitate union for those of you who are on that path. So it's not going to be an easy few months for anybody. But this is all for our highest good, I promise. This is all for our highest good. It is all to bring about union for those of you who are on that path. And whew, I'm so warm right now. This is all about coming into a place where we can let this old world die. Yep, and my body just responded to that big time. Woo. We need to let the old world die. We need to let the old guard die. They're off duty now. We're not replacing them. We are creating a whole new reality over here. Okay. And so I've talking to a beautiful friend a couple of weeks ago. I said, I do not even have any investment in this old reality anymore. Nothing. I am focusing on creating what I want to create from here, from a balanced place here, and not just union with another person, with another soul, with my other half. Essentially, it doesn't mean I'm half a soul. Don't misunderstand me. But not just that, but what I want to do in the world, what I want for my children, what I want in my immediate sphere, even with just friends and family. I get to start creating, or I have already started creating the reality that I want from this balanced place. And it's been 12 years now. I've been doing this since my initial awakening, when I did not want to be here anymore. And to be honest, over the last 12 years, I've gone into that place a lot. And in the last 2 months, I've gone into that place a lot where I don't want to be here anymore. And it's all part of the process. And because I have been doing this for so long, and I have created a foundation for myself of gratitude, of knowing that on some level, even when I forget, on a deep, deep level, I know that everything that I want is on the other side of the things that I am afraid of. And so I have times where I can't do it, where I don't have the capacity, and I curl up in a ball, and I don't want, any stimulus. I don't want anything stimuli. And then I have periods where I just go barreling right through, and that fear. And it triggers people in my life. It triggers people big time in my life. And again, I don't do it right. I don't always express it perhaps in as gentle a way as I could. And I would like to learn to do that. But at the same time, sometimes the people in your life need the harshness. Sometimes the people in your life need the harshness. But as we learn, as we grow, we will be more filled with love and compassion and treat others accordingly. Like, yes, there are times to tell people to fuck off. But I feel like as we grow, that will be less and less, because it just won't bother you when people are triggered by you like that, and you won't need that response anymore. So that's my 2 cents, or hour. That's my dollar on what's going on right now. And I think it's beautiful. If you resonate with it, let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I know this is a long one, but I had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you had a lot of fun watching. Thank you. I love you all so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.